We're going to talk about word problems again with inequalities. So this is going to be pretty similar to what we have done before back in Unit 3, but it's going to be there's a little twist. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and read this, and we're going to highlight some important information. It says, Mariah has a coupon for Popeyes. She can buy chicken tenders for $1.25 each and sides for $2.50 each. To use the coupon, she must spend more than $15. Write to the inequality and sketch the graph. So, the important information we want to highlight are, of course, our numbers, $1.25 each, $2.50 each, 15, and don't forget we also have the more than. This is our inequality. We don't have an equal sign. So, where this is different, we are not going to do our does not symbol total. We're going to get rid of our does and does not because we have two things we are buying. We have two each in our situation. So we're going to have X and Y. All right, so from here, very similar process, right? The first thing she is buying at Popeyes are the chicken tenders. So when we define our variable, our X, we need to use words and numbers. So X is chicken tenders, and the number that goes with that is 125. Okay. Same thing for our Y. The next item she's buying are the sides, and she's getting those for $2.50 each. Our total is our biggest number, that's our 15. And remember our symbol, we have our 4 inequality symbols to pick from. Using the menu at your table or your knowledge from Unit 3, more than, remember more than is our greater than symbol. All right, that's how you find your symbol. To put this all together, we're going to write our inequality. I'm going to write it down here where I have a little bit of space, where you can fit this anywhere on your notes. So we're going to start with 125x plus 250y, our symbol greater than our total. And since this has x and y, we get to stop right there. We can't solve this. It has two variables. This is where we stop. So this is part 1 of our question, is writing our inequality, right, where it says write the inequality. Did that. Next thing we're going to move on to is sketching the graph. All right, to sketch the graph, we're going to try and make it really easy on ourselves and go to Desmos. So when you open up Desmos, we are going to type in the inequality that we just wrote. All right, so $1.25 X plus $2.50 Y is greater than 15. If you can't see your graph completely, click on the little minus sign to zoom out. If you ever zoom too far out, like crazy, click on the house to get back in the middle, right? And what we want to look for is where our graph crosses the X and Y axes. And so we're going to sketch this graph onto our notes. So we have our x-axis where our x-intercept is at 12. You don't need to write the whole ordered pair. You just need the value that isn't 0. On our y-axis, we have 6. That is a broken line, and it is shaded above. Okay? It is shaded above. You want to use a highlighter for your shading to make it look nicer, you can, or just your pencil, whatever you prefer. All right, we are 99% of the way there. Our graph looks a little bare. We need to use some words to label our X and Y axes. All right, so remember earlier when we said that X was our chicken tenders, that's what we're going to label on our X-axis. So we're going to label this down here as chicken tenders. And then for our y-axis, we're going to go ahead and label that as sides. And now you have done both parts of the question. Inequality, check. Sketch the graph, also check. You need all of these parts. You need the words, the numbers, your line, and your shading for your graph to be complete. Okay? You can go ahead, pause here to open up your notes and work on number 2. All right, hopefully you worked on number 2 on your own. All right, so remember, same setup as the first one. When we read this, we're going to highlight our important information. Jen is buying pens and pencils for school. Pens cost $1.50 each. Pencils cost 75 cents each. She has no more than $36 to spend. Write the inequality and sketch the graph. Again, highlight our important information. Our numbers, the each is no more than 36. Remember the 2 items we're buying, pens and pencils. So the first item we are talking about, the first one we have a number for are the pens. So that is going to be our X value. X is pens, and the number that goes with that is $1.50. Our Y is pencils, and that is 75 cents. Our total is our biggest number, 36. And our symbol, no more than. Make sure you read the question completely so that you can see that it has the word no in front. I know sometimes we like to skip ahead and we get excited and don't read the whole thing. Take your time, highlight the information, read the question a few times. No more than is going to be our less than or equal to symbol. When we put this together so that we can put it in decimals, we're going to start with $1.50 X plus 75 cents Y is less than or equal to 36. Make sure you box this in, make it super clear that this is your answer. All right, from here you can go ahead, put it into decimals, but first I'm going to label the graph. We have our X and our Y. Label our X's with words. Our X represents pens, and our Y represents pencils. Now that the words are done, I'm going to go over to Desmos, delete what I had from before, and type it in $1.50 X plus see? Trying to speed up, getting ahead of myself, less than or equal to 36. Again, see, I can't see it, so I'm going to zoom out, just hit the minus button until I can see my points. All right, and now to label on my x-axis, that point is at 24. On the y-axis, the point is at 48. That is a solid line. Use your ruler so it looks a little bit nicer, and it is shaded below. Okay. All right, and that is what you have for word problems. Go ahead, glue this into your notebook, and then you will get the quiz after you are finished.